Shooting 4K video on an iPhone is the coolest thing ever. Like, seriously, man, it's pretty cool. So, as some of you may or may not know, I just got a brand new iPhone SE. Why the SE and not the 7 Plus like I was originally thinking? Well, I couldn't really justify putting down the several $100s it would take to get the 7 Plus. While I would love to have that cool 2 cameras, I couldn't reconcile the cost versus having really cool features. Want? Not a need. So, I got myself the SE instead. 'Cause my lovely little 6 Plus here, she don't boot. Logic board, dead. Anyways, I want to show you, because I think it's so cool, I want to show you how to shoot 4K on your 4K enabled iPhone. So I think that's the SE, the 6S, and the 6S Plus, and then of course the newer ones like the 7 and the 7 Plus. When I first went in to shoot some 4K, I actually shot a bunch of stuff at 1080 because I had no idea that I had to go in the settings and do things right. If you don't do things right, you end up with 1080 or worse. So, let's just start with the basic built-in camera app. So, you open your iPhone, and you go into settings. Now, let me adjust my focus here a little bit so I can show you guys. There we go. So, in settings, and I'm going to try and do this while watching my own video feed. So, we need to go down to Photos and Camera. So this gives all your various assorted camera settings. Let me get it so you can see it. So this is where all your camera settings are. Scroll down to the very bottom, and you will see your actual camera settings. So when it comes from the factory, it's usually set like this. 1080 at 30 frames a second for video, and slow-mo 720p at 240 frames a second. Slow-mo, you can either upgrade it to 1080 at 12 or 120 frames a second. That's what I like to do. So for slow-mo, you can knock it up there to HD, but not as many frames a second. But the setting you really want to change is, here are your options for recording video. So you can either do 720 at 30, 1080 at 30, 1080 at 60, or 4K at 30. So let's go back to me for a moment here. So if your aim is to record as much video as possible with as little, well, helps if I actually put myself back in focus properly. There we go. That's pretty close. So, if you want to do as much video as possible, if you're going to be recording all day, and the quality isn't terribly important, a minute of video at 720 is about 60 megabytes. No big deal. If you kick it up to 1080 at 30 frames a second, which is kind of the baseline, that's what this camera is doing right now, my DSLR, you get 130 megabytes per minute. If you kick that up higher yet to 1080 at 60 frames a second, if you want a slight bit of slow-mo or you want that faster look, then you're looking at 175 megabytes per minute. And if you want to go 4K at 30 frames a second, you're looking at 350 megabytes per second. Or, sorry, per minute. Which means, on my 6 Plus, I would be able to, at maximum, record 1 minute if I was able to record 4K video on it. Because it was a 16 gig, and, well, let's just say 16 isn't enough. I'm sorry, Apple. Thank you for the 7s and the more recent ones for doing away with 16. 32 is a great minimum. 64 is kind of better. That's what this is, 64 gig. Because I want to shoot a bunch of this stuff. I've been shooting video and loading all my apps and music and everything on. I still have 40 gigs remaining available, so I'm good with this. So, let's go back to our settings part. Nope, that's the other way. There we go. So, let's drop this. Yay, I did it. To 4K at 30 frames a second. So, now that we have our camera set up properly, let's actually shoot a little clip and we'll drop it in and I'll try and show it to you right on the stream. So, I'm going to go just into my normal camera app. Same as any other time. And we're going to switch over from photo, which it's on by default, to video. Now, how you're going to know if you're in the right mode. So meta. How you're going to know if you're in the right mode is right over here. Let me see if I can keep this whole thing in. There we go. So, do you see right up at the top there, if I can actually keep this in focus, where it says 4K, up in this corner here? Right there. There we go. Very shallow depth of field right now. So, where it says 4K there, if it doesn't say 4K, you're not recording 4K. But when it says 4K, you're good to go. So, now that we're in 4K, let's frame up a nice little shot of you guys. So I'm just going to use the shutter button here. And I'm just going to do a nice little push in. Now my hands aren't terribly steady, so this isn't going to be too epic, but, you know. So we'll just do a nice little move here. Maybe a nice little dramatic angle. A little bit of a Dutch angle, maybe. There we go. So that was 20 seconds of 4K footage. Excellent. So, let's do something with that now. So, lightning cable. Just going to plug that on into my USB port. And then pop that end into my phone. Yes, I do want to trust this computer. Thank you, iPhone, for asking. Alright, so now let's pop into my folder structure here. Go to my phone. No iTunes. I don't want to use you. No. Thanks. Bye-bye. So I just go to my internal storage on my iPhone and navigate to the DCIM folder. And in there should be 100 Apple. And in there is all your photos, your videos, whatever's on the actual device itself. So let me find my little clip here. 125 megabytes for that little 22-second clip we did. So I'm just going to copy that out. And we will put this in a little temporary folder here. Actually, you know what? I can show you what I'm doing here. So, This will be 2016, 12, 21. iPhone 4K live stream. Excellent. Okay, so we'll go in here now, and I will just paste the footage. Excellent. So let me switch back here. Nope. That is not the correct button. That is. There we go. So basically what I've done is I've gone through and essentially added in my 4K file from phone directly over to my computer through a cable, so it's fast. We're not waiting on things. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, in OBS, and I can't show you this because it'll create an evil infinite loop. And obviously this won't be in 4K because I'm not broadcasting in 4K. Because I'm not 4K friendly on my streaming rig, nor am I 4K on this DSLR. In fact, it's actually scaled up a slight bit from what it normally is, because the phone is at 1080i, and it's coming into my broadcast system, but the sides are missing, so I've scaled it up a little bit. So we're just going to add this folder here. All right. And now we're going to select this, transform, fit to screen. Now, theoretically, if I take this again, oh, it's upside down. I think I can fix that. All right, so we will transform, rotate 180 degrees, and we'll take that. So what you're looking at now is the 4K footage I literally just shot. And now, granted, this is scaling it down to 1080. So it's not going to be all that glorious. And as you can see, my system's churning up its nose and dropping some frames on it because it doesn't like that it's actively processing a 1080 stream, and then it has to scale this 4K down. So my voice might be a little choppy right now, and if it is, I apologize for that. But yeah, so now we've just put a 4K file over into my broadcast platform. But we're not done. The ultimate goal here is I want to put that 4K file on YouTube. So let me switch over here to my Creator Studio. Well, actually, I can just go straight to the upload. And we'll do this. We'll do this. Beautiful. And then I need to grab this. And we'll move this here. All right. So now I should be able to take this source. Beautiful. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. So here we are in my YouTube dashboard. Nice and all ready to upload a file. Let's drag and drop this down. Now, you'll notice that I'm uploading this through the actual YouTube interface on my PC. Not, whoops. Forgot to turn that off. Let's try that again. Turn that off, take that, turn that back on. So the reason I didn't go through the YouTube app is because the YouTube app actually limits what you can upload as far as resolution. So let me just pop open my app here and go into my settings. So let me slide in a little closer. This way. There we go. So, there we go. If you can see, I'm in. So if you, come on. If you pop open your YouTube app and you go into settings, and you scroll down, and you look at your upload quality, you notice how mine says 1080. Well, if you notice on my channel, the other day I did a video that I uploaded that was supposed to be 4K, but this was set to 1080. Now the problem is, here's your options. The app is not 4K ready yet. I assume 4K will be coming at some point. I imagine it will be an eventuality. Eventually, YouTube will put in everything they need to do 4K right from your phone, especially with more and more phones, iPhones and Androids alike, doing 4K video. But for today, which is the important day, tomorrow hasn't occurred yet, we do what we do what we can do with what we got. I think I put myself in a little bit of a soft focus there. There we go. That should sharpen me up a little bit. Alright, so let's go check out how our video is doing. So, we're going to make this Actually, let's make this iPhone SE 4K test footage from live stream. And then we'll make this CMR Studios, because that's where we are. Alright. So I've got just, all my usual social links there. Let's take this right from unlisted to public, so all you guys can actually go directly to it and take a look. So we will hit that public and publish. So right now, that video is going to be published as soon as it's done processing, which should be in a few minutes. I think. Maybe. Probably in a few minutes. Once it has processed, then you'll be able to actually see that 4K video on your own devices. The caveat here is that once this video is properly available or immediately available and done processing, it only does the basic processing first. So getting the additional versions, which include the 4K, may take a while for some of you. So let's just navigate over and see. Yep, that's working great. So let's see what versions we have. Yeah, so I'll put the link in the chat box here. So you can go check that out right now. Unfortunately, you're going to have to give it a few minutes to get a 4K version. C'est la vie. It's an amazing feat what they're actually doing in taking in whatever I give them and turning it into, I think, one of a dozen different file formats of all the different resolutions and everything. So it's just ready to send them out. It doesn't have to process. So now sounds like a good time to ask some questions. Do you have questions? I answer questions. And while you're preparing your questions, let me just quickly point out that this is not, the camera app on your iPhone is not the only way to do video. If you've seen some of the videos I've done previously on Filmic Pro, that is an app, once again, worthy of all of its own videos. And let me just pop into the settings. So, with Filmic Pro on my iPhone before, I could do 2 or 3K with no audio. but it wouldn't do 4K and it wasn't as nice. So let's check this out. All right. So right now it's set out of the box to 1080 and 32 megabits per second. If 1080 is fine for you, you can punch the bitrate up to 50 megabits per second, which is pretty awesome. However, if you're like me, you probably want to do a little more. So why not punch it up to 2K? Feeling adventurous? How about 3K? Or maybe you want to shoot 4K on your iPhone, but what is this? 50 megabits per second, 75. How about 4K at 100 megabits per second? That's kind of the going rate for doing decent 4K video. Coming back to me. So yeah, that app essentially allows you to really knock it out of the park, get better bitrate, get better camera control, and just dial it in. I believe, and I'll have to fact check myself on this, I believe the movie Tangerine that was going wild around the film circuit was actually shot Filmic Pro, because I believe they say right on their website. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Oh. So yeah, go check out filmicpro.com, and yeah, there's a lot of apps. All right, so let's see if our test footage has now converted over into the lovely 4K. Nope, only up to 720. Once again, you'll normally want to upload unlisted and let it sit for a little while, transcode up to all the 4K streams, and then go from there. Poor lighting means don't shoot 4K, right? Oh, that's probably into this. Poor lighting quite often means you probably don't want to shoot iPhone at all. It requires a very special camera to shoot low light. But lights don't necessarily have to come from, the usual sources. You don't necessarily need to go out and buy the latest and greatest to do what you want to do. Let's do some show and tell while we're here. For instance, you're coming with me. We'll come up and over. And there we go. So if we look up right here, and we will stop this down a little bit. Nope. Okay. So up here, I've got just a simple little Home Depot can light. Works beautifully. And above it, if I can get up there, is LED rope light. So it's just that little stick-on LED light. And I've just got it wrapped around a pole for the closet. And that is literally how I'm lit right now. And I got the exposure wrong coming back from that. There we go. So iPhone 7 has the low light capacity, right? Yes, iPhone 7 and 7 Plus do have better low light capabilities. They are still not perfect. They will not, shoot in the dark, so to speak. But what they actually have is they have, on the actual camera lens itself, they have a little bit of a bigger opening. So lets a little more light through. For camera parlance, that would be, I believe they go from an f2.8 aperture to a 1.8, I think. So 2.8 to a 1.8, which is a pretty big jump in light coming in. More light coming in, getting to the sensor means you can shoot in lower lighting conditions. But, I mean, really when it comes down to it, where did I put it? Because, I mean, you can get, there are a lot of lighting options. I mean, you can get little, like, video lights like this guy. I mean, you know, this is bright enough to, not perfectly, but shoot out in the dark. I had a little mini flashlight around here. I don't know where he went. But I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're really stuck for light, you know, pull out your iPhone, hit the light. You know, assuming you've got a friend with a light, you can turn theirs on too. You can actually shoot, if I turn this off, and I go back into the camera, I believe there should actually be a switch to turn it on. So you can actually shoot with bonus light. Is it the most flattering light? No, it's kind of front on heavy, and you kind of want more of a top down. But if it's the only light you got, it's the only light you got. But yeah, these work best, and I mean amazingly, like outside in the middle of the day. That's when these really shine. Really takes a while. Yeah, let's see if it's done now. I'm up to 1440p, which means that's a little bit above 1080, which means 4K's got to be coming soon. You have no friends, had to cut back. Dave Ramsey said sell the friends. No. Dave Ramsey did not say sell the friends. Sell so much stuff that the friends think they're next. How much did you get for them? That could be an idea. A couple extra bucks. Anyways, come on, load. I want to have you loaded for last little bit of this stream. So yeah, like I said, expect 4K to take a while. Sorry I haven't got your case yet. No worries. This thing has been gentle and babied and taken care of and whoop. Just kidding. But no, it's been very gently taken care of. And it's always fun, I don't know, to kind of use a phone, without a case for a little while. It makes me a little more paranoid, so I take better care of it. And I don't let this go. It stays. And yeah. I'm very gentle with it. All right. Are you going to finally be 4K? No, you're not. You're going to still be 1440. So, yeah, this definitely takes forever. And a day. All right. So, let's go over here. Nope, that is not the setting I want. Nope. Come on. I want to do... Nope, that is not the setting I wanted either. YouTube is being so nice to me right now. Come on. No. Alright. I'm just going to take this moment to make sure that's right. Time for dinner. What are you making for us? Good question. I don't even know what I'm making myself. I have craft dinner in the pantry, and I'm very much considering going with that. Especially seeing as the missus is out in Abbotsford right now, so yeah. Definitely tempting. Come on. Alright. So, 4K definitely takes a while, which makes sense. Because it has a lot of processing power, or a lot of processing to do. So, let's do some other good YouTube things. Like, if I switch on over here. So, other good YouTube habits that you want to get into. Descriptions. I've heard the first 3 lines of the description really matter. And when you think about it, makes sense. Google doesn't watch your video. Google uses all the information about your video to figure out what it's about. So, let's do... Today we test out my iPhone SE, and it's 4K setting with a live studio audience without a studio. Because you guys are making for us. Beans and rice is the answer. Beans and rice, rice and beans. Alright, so... let's do our model is a beautiful Canon T4i. How do you think this looks? Comment below. Excellent. So, the other thing, while we're here, tags. Now, we don't want to put in useless unrelated tags, so 4K iPhone test. And what does iPhone 4K look like? I don't know if that's the best keyword strategy for YouTube. I have a little bit of SEO experience, but not all that much on YouTube. So, let's also suggest or take a nice, beautiful thumbnail, and we will save those changes. So, let's refresh again. Nope, still 1440. So, I think we'll call that there. Obviously, once this uploads into full 4K, you should be good to go. I should be able to actually confirm that. Actually, I'll just look in File Explorer. It's probably the best way to doing this. Nope, that was not the action I asked you to do. No, that's exactly the opposite of the action I asked you to do. Thanks. All right. So if we pop over here and look at the properties of our video that we recorded, as you can see, 3840, 2160. So 2160p or 4K. So we did indeed record a beautiful video. And you'll notice the data rate is 4,500 kilobits per second. So about 50 megabit. Remember in Filmic Pro, where we saw the entry for bitrate, you can crank that all the way up to 100 to get less compression. Obviously, 50 versus 100 is going to take up twice the space. So at that point, you're dealing with, I guess it would be about 600 megabytes per minute based off of iPhone's math, 600 to 700. Yeah. Actually, yeah, 100 megabits per second would mean in 60 seconds you'd have why is that math not work in my head? Oh, right, because I'm converting. But yeah. So, double the data rate, double the amount of data. Go figure. Anyways, if you have any further questions, add them on comments to this stream or to the test video, or hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. It's all down in the description of the test video and should be in this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Till next time, that's a wrap.